This podcast is sponsored by Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. Challenge your beliefs and embrace the uncomfortable. Discover the power of confronting ideas that push your boundaries. Get the book or enroll in the online course today at uncomfortable-ideas.com.
Challenging the status quo, a skeptic's take on affirmative action and historical injustices. Explore the morality of affirmative action policies as a skeptic challenges the status quo and embraces discomfort to uncover uncomfortable truths. Discrimination and affirmative action, a skeptic's take on morality and policy. You know, sometimes when people bring up affirmative action, it feels like stepping into one of those uncomfortable conversations that everyone tiptoes around but rarely confronts head-on. And honestly, I get it. Talking about discrimination and policies designed to correct historical injustices is not the kind of thing that sits easy with most of us. But I think it's important to at least challenge the status quo and consider some of the uncomfortable truths that come with it. So here's where I'm coming from. Affirmative action at its core aims to level the playing field for groups who have traditionally faced discrimination, whether through slavery, segregation, or systemic barriers. Sounds fair, right? But when you start to think about the morality behind imposing these policies today, the picture gets a bit more complicated. First off, the idea that current generations should bear responsibility for past wrongs is tricky ethical territory. Is it fair to give some people advantages based on their racial or ethnic background, while others, who might have worked hard but happen to be from groups that weren't historically discriminated against, don't get the same breaks? Doesn't that conflict with the ideal of treating everyone equally, regardless of their skin colour? On the other side, supporters argue that simply treating everyone equally ignores deeply embedded social and economic inequalities that have persisted for centuries. They say affirmative action is less about giving handouts and more about embracing discomfort to repair structural imbalances and provide genuine opportunities. Sure, it's uncomfortable, but maybe that's the point. But here's where I find myself skeptical. Policies that attempt to fix historical injustices by instituting race-based preferences end up creating resentment and can sometimes make divisions worse. What about merit? Shouldn't we be promoting individuals based on ability and effort, not their identity? And when we prioritize group identity and efforts to correct systemic wrongs, don't we risk perpetuating a form of discrimination by another name? There's no doubt that discrimination still exists, and in some cases, it's covert and systemic. But are blanket policies the right way, or do they just shift the problem around? It's worth asking if affirmative action really addresses the root causes, like unequal education, economic disparity, or social networks, or if it's just a band-aid that makes us feel like progress is happening without real change underneath. If you want some rigorous, thought-provoking podcast material, I'd recommend checking out the book Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. It's not about pushing a single perspective, but rather about understanding different perspectives, including those that might make you a little uncomfortable. The book really challenges you to think beyond easy answers and question assumptions, even ones that are commonly accepted around topics like affirmative action. Ultimately, conversations about policies aiming to fix historical injustices should make us uncomfortable. They're not meant to be cozy or easy. If we avoid these discussions, we never truly get to understand the complexity behind discrimination or how to create lasting, fair solutions. So sometimes it's worth embracing discomfort to break new ground and maybe, just maybe, find ways to heal the divides in more nuanced ways. Is it moral to impose advantages based on group identity? Does affirmative action resolve or exacerbate social divisions? How do we balance meritocracy with correcting past injustices? Are there better alternatives that aren't often discussed? If you're curious or just tired of the usual slogans and soundbites, give Uncomfortable Ideas a look. It's a platform made for offensive topics and uncomfortable truths, the kind that actually get you thinking instead of just reacting. Explore the book now to engage with ideas that push boundaries and help us all try to see these complex issues a little differently. Thanks for sticking with me through this, and if this stirred some thoughts, that's exactly the point. Sometimes the best way forward is to question the stories we've been told and keep the dialogue honest, open, and yes, a little uncomfortable.